Hey everybody, so today is a gorgeous day. Look how sunny it is in the kind of location I live. But it's also another reason for a beautiful day is because today was the day that Donald Trump announced his trade deal with China. So if any of you have been following, these tariffs have caused a lot of commotion in the marketplace as well as in our probably, I don't know, financial well-being, 401ks, whatever, stock market stuff. And for those of you who are thinking of retiring, that's a major concern, right? Because all of us who have money tied up in the stock market, who are contributing to our 401ks and retirement funding, the market doesn't go up, your assets don't go up, which means it's very hard to retire. So today is a wonderful day for everybody because it's really gone quite far up. And perhaps Donald Trump's plans are working, but that's a separate matter. The reason I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it is when I was thinking through, looking at my portfolio and saying, wow, yeah, it's going up and everything's green. And that just means I can retire sooner. It just made me think that, wow, this is the greatest psyop ever, that our government and our financial institutions have convinced us to put money into this thing called the stock market, and that is the only way out of any form of, to be able to retire gainfully, for lack of a better word. And that to me is just sad. The fact that we have to look at our portfolios to say that we that is the measure of our well-being, that is the measure of our contribution to society, and that's the way we measure ourselves for security. That to me is just terrible. Got me thinking about a movie that I saw a long time ago about a gangster from Korea that started essentially the Yakuza, which is the Japanese crime syndicate. The director's name is Kitashi Kitano, I think his name is. I can't remember. I thought I saw it on Netflix. But the reason I bring that up is the story is about this guy who goes over to Japan because they couldn't find work in Korea. This is the time when Korea was being colonized by Japan. So naturally, the only thing they could do is organized crime activity. But he amassed so much wealth. And if you're familiar with Pablo Escobar, he had so much cash. And there was a scene in the movie where, I don't know, something tore down on the shoji doors, but in between the framing was like stacks of cash. But when you're watching the movie and the progression of this character, he was completely impoverished. Not only in his manner of living, which was he was destitute almost, like he acted poor. And the reason why he was living poorly is because he acted poor. And that just got me to thinking about kind of how my mindset has been. Perhaps many of you as well as out there is doing the same. Our mindset is off. Maybe the thing is that, we feel like we can't retire because our stock portfolio is not high enough. We can't retire because some number, we haven't hit a certain number. Or we can't retire because, we think that work is the only way to retire and that we won't have anything better to do afterwards. And I think that's just a big mistake. I think all of us should be thinking a little differently. You don't have to have I don't know what everybody's magic number is. I can tell you where I live, it's a fairly affluent area. We look at people making millions and millions of dollars, and all of a sudden that becomes the baseline, the low water mark to hit. And I think it's just silly. The way I see it is if you have enough, then you need to be thinking about how to get into retirement and setting that up, rather than looking at your stock portfolio and saying, that's how I can retire. I think retirement and everything the great things I hear about it is spending more time with those that you love, but also spending time on things that you do love. I know too many people out there that do things that they don't love, and I'm regretfully one of those. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can do, if you set things up correctly, and hopefully you have gainfully done so, you can do the things that are most important to you. Personally, I'd like to be doing things with cats. I know it sounds silly. I just love those feline things. They're just so funny. And it breaks my heart when I see videos online of stray ones, or really mangy ones that need a little bit more care because they're out in the wild. And of course, they're animals. They're going to pick up disease and things like that. But I don't want to see that. I want to help them. And I think there's many people out there that have that calling where they want to help other people. So I just say to all of you, change the mindset. We don't need as much wealth as we think. We don't need to accumulate so much. That's the other thing about what we do. We seem to accumulate so much. And I think tying it back to the tariffs again, what Donald had, I think, in mind it's not a tax. It's essentially to level up the playing field so that when you are challenged with looking at something, two products, for example, which one are you going to choose? The cheaper one or the better quality one? Even though the better quality one is a little bit more expensive. Not significantly more expensive like before, but just a little bit more expensive. Well, quite frankly, I would choose quality over cheapness. Well, that's it for today. I'll leave it here. This is like the third time I've done this video. So thankfully, we can talk again. Bye.